Alright, hello everybody. Today I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to create interactive maps for Wikipedia. Um, Today I'm going to be doing it for District 4, the Democratic primary for the 2025 New York City Council election. If you want to see what one of the maps will look like, I have this here for the second district. Um, and you can see it's just like a standard interactive map. Everything's colored in the same. And when I click on each precinct, it has all the vote totals sorted, plus candidate names colored in percentages, as well as for the no vote precinct, it just shows no votes, and it sorts it from top to bottom by most votes. So I'm going to show you guys how to make that today, um, as well as talking about some other caveats to how that works. So first, let me just right now. Oh, just ignore that. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that through this extension cartographer that Wikipedia has. I think I'll link this in the comments. This map frame thing, it does that automatically when you import a GeoJSON. But this is really useful for seeing like other attributes that you can like include. And we're going to be doing some of these today, like description. Title's an optional one that you can do. I've only ever done it once, but those are options that you can do. But yeah, anyways, we are going to be doing it for this district. Well, first of all, this is the data. I already got this beforehand by calculating it through the cast vote record. I'm not going to go into how you do that in here, but I might do that in a future video. But anyways, I'm just going to copy this stuff over into a new Excel sheet. And basically what we really want to be doing is, first I'm going to close that. If you see this one, I was for my New Hampshire governor one. I'm going to show you what the file is like. So basically, instead of the standard thing where you're creating your PCTs or whatever, what we're going to be creating is this description thing, which if we actually paste this into the sandbox here, you'll see that this is basically just the thing that colors in each precinct. So we're going to be auto-populating that for the precinct. That's honestly the most difficult part. And then we're also going to be creating this fill opacity, stroke width, and stroke opacity. I just do these by default for all 0.75, 0.5, and 1, so that's not any work to do here, and then the fill. So really the description and the fill, those are really the only things we need to be working on. They're the most difficult. So first we're going to do description. So first of all, before I do that, what I like to do is, ignore that, I like to sort the columns from left to right by the highest votes to lowest votes, and I'll explain why I do that later. So first of all, Virginia Maloney, we need Vanessa before Virginia, so I'm going to copy that here and delete that there. Then Virginia, Vanessa, after Vanessa is Rachel Storch, which we have. Then after that is Benjamin, so I'm going to copy this, paste there, and delete there. So now we have Virginia, then Vanessa, Rachel Storch, Benjamin, Faith Bondi, Lucas, and Ryden. So that's the exact order that I wanted in, so that's all good. Now what I'm going to do, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the write-in 7 candidates. So I'm just going to create columns saying first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and I know that's off the screen, so I'll bring that on the screen in a second. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use a formula called sort by, and I'll explain what this does later. Our array, this first of all is going to be just the headers, and I'm going to press F4 so that when we drag that down, that is locked, then comma, and then we're going to do this, not locked, so that when we drag down it changes, and then comma, -1. So as you can see now, it will auto-populate these based on highest votes to lowest votes. And the reason I sorted the columns earlier is because you don't have to do this. But what I like to do when I make my maps, if there's a tie between two candidates, I want the one that is displayed higher to be the one who received more votes overall. And the sort by formula, if there's a tie, it just does it left to right. So that's why I organize them left to right. But yeah, now we can copy this formula down, just like I've done in my previous videos. By the way, there is some knowledge in this that I'm not going to be going over from like my QGIS selection map tutorials. I might link that in the comments if you want to view that beforehand. But anyways, I'm going to paste this now. This is all good. This is all what we want. And now I'm going to create another set of columns because, first of all, I should explain what we're doing. So first of all, what we created are the starting things in the beginning here. Not yet with the colors. I'm going to do that later. Next, what we're going to do is the number of votes. And then after that, we're going to do the percentages. And then we're going to use formulas to string that all together. So that's basically what I'm doing now. Right now, we're just making the description. Next, as I said, we're going to do votes. So for that, we're going to use HLOOKUP, which is basically the same as VLOOKUP, but instead of vertical, it's horizontal. So first of all, we want to start off with this value. We're not going to lock that because as we drag it over, we want to drag over, same with down, then comma, and then our range is going to be all of these cells, and then we're going to want to lock that so that when we drag it across, it doesn't change. And then for the lookup value, we can use this command called the row command. So row of that, it could be anything in the in row 2, and it'll give you the correct value. And obviously make sure not to lock that so when it drags down, it does it properly. And then not zero, false. And that gives the proper VLOOKUP conditions. So now we can just paste that across like this. Everything will be proper. And yeah, as we can see here, there's a tie here, 1717. That is, yeah, Benjamin and Faith. And since Benjamin is before, he is the yeah, he appears first in this order. Okay, so yeah, this is all good now. I am going to copy and paste, and then lastly we need to do the percentages, which is easier, not really any complex formulas. So for this, I'm going to do equals. So it's going to be this over the sum of this. Now we want to lock this to stay in the P and V columns, but move along the rows. So for that, then we're just going to put a $sign in front of the P and a $sign in front of V. And then this will give the percentages a decimal, so we want to do times 100. And then I've been rounding it to 2 decimal places, so outside of this, then I'm going to type in the beginning round parentheses, and then at the end, comma 2, comma 2, so that gives to 2 decimal places, and then we can copy this over, and we can paste this down. And we'll see now if we just look at any of them. Oh, oops. If we look at any of them, like this one, yeah, it gets them all correctly. So this is all good. Now we're going to make the description. Now that we've created all these columns, making the description is mostly trivial. I am going to copy it over from here. And yeah, as mentioned, this is like Wikipedia code. So before I get into like making it, I'm gonna explain what some of this stuff is. So first of all, this color thing is just to color it in. That's what this curly brackets color thing is. So this is the hex code for the color. And then these like 3 I don't know if they're called apostrophes or something. Those in the beginning and end bold the text in between. So this is bolded and it's this color for the hex color, and then BR puts it on a new line. So that's basically what all of this is. I am now going to copy this, and I'm going to use it kind of as a reference to make the beginning of this. So first of all, the beginning is going to be, let's see what the first cell is. It's going to be I2, and then we're going to do the and symbol, and then in quotation marks for text that we're going to do. So let me scroll to the end here, and I'm going to delete this part. And then you can see I put a space in between that and the number. So I'm going to do end quotations, and the number then is going to be P2 because that is the cell there. And then I'm going to do and quotations, quotations there, and percentage is going to be W2. Then I'm going to delete the percentage there, and quotations, and then I'm going to close it at the BR. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm actually going to go into the Notepad app. This just makes it easier for me. I'm actually going to add an and symbol at the end. So this way I can just easily modify to add second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So for this, we're just shifting the cells over by one. So after I is going to be J, right? H-I-J. Yes, after P, we can see that on the sheet is going to be Q, and after W is going to be X. So now we can paste again. We just did J after I, so I, J, this is followed by K. After P, the 2 after P is going to be R, as we can see on there. After W and X is going to be Y. So now we can paste at the end again. So we just did IJK. IJKL is next. And then looking at the fourth one there is going to be S. And then after that fourth one is going to be Z. Let me just make sure I'm doing this all correct so far. X there, Y there, Z there. Okay, that's good. So we just did L. So now we have M. Should be M here. I'm actually going to just drag this more on screen. So that's going to be M. After P, oh wait, let me see the P one. Fifth one is going to be T. And the fifth one for the W is going to be AA. Paste again. So we just had M, I believe. Yeah, M. So next we have N, and this is for the sixth one, I believe. Sixth is going to be U. And then sixth for here is going to be AB, I believe, right? Yes. Okay, and then last time I'm going to get rid of this and at the end. Let's see. So lastly, we should have O, I believe. So we can see that peeking off the screen. Last one for that is going to be V. It should be UV, yep. And then last for that should be AC. And then actually, we can get rid of this BR. That doesn't really matter since we don't need a line break at the end. So now I'm going to copy this over, and I'm going to do equals paste there. And now we can see everything is colored correctly. And now I'm just going to copy this down. And I'm also going to just paste one of these into the sandbox. By the way, this sandbox thing, this is just a place where you can view stuff that you want to make. I'll link this in the comments. This is for viewing Wikipedia code or whatever. So I'm going to press show preview. Oh, that's right, we didn't color it. That's an easy fix. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know why I skipped over that step, but it's fine because we still have the formula saved and we didn't delete anything. And this is why it's good to paste in the sandbox because sometimes you forget steps. So basically for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them based on that color template. Where is it? Here. I'm just gonna copy one of them. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, okay. Sorry about this. All right, copy. And I'm going to paste this in a new tab. And I'm just going to see the candidates that we have. So first one is Virginia Maloney. And we can see above that I colored her as blue. So I am going to do that in a second. So Virginia Maloney, I'm going to paste there. Looks like it added a tab before. And now for the color, what I usually do is I grab the colors on this page, the Wikipedia, Wiki Project Collection Referendums colors. I think I've linked this in previous videos. I'll probably link it in the comments if I remember. What I usually do is I just copy the 50, 60 colors for the color scheme that I want to use. And now what I'll do is I'm going to do, there's Virginia Maloney. Okay, first of all, yeah, I'm going to Control H, and I'm going to paste that there. And Virginia Maloney is the candidate that we want. So I'm going to do that and replace. Replace all. All right, great, made 83 replacements. Should be, yeah, 84 columns because the top column isn't counted. Next, I'm going to do Vanessa Aronson because she is the second place. Remember, we sorted those columns earlier, so. And she should be, what color did I make her? I made her the writing color scheme. So I'll copy the 50, 60 for that, paste that there, and I'm going to do Control H on this, paste there, Going to copy Vanessa Aronson and replace all. 83 again. And now we're going to do Rachel J. Storch. Paste that there. I'm going to get rid of the J just so that it's like first name, last name. I think I probably made her, made her the Republican color scheme. I'll paste that there. So we have Rachel Storch now. First through 7, paste that there. Rachel Storch. And first through 7, replace all. All right. It's good. Next, we're going to do Benjamin D. Welzer, however you pronounce that name, I don't know. Benjamin D. Welzer, I don't know if he was a color on the map that I made. Welzer, yes, he was. I made him the Wikipedia alt color scheme. So that's going to be that one. And now we can go here, paste that there, copy Benjamin D. Welzer, and replace all. All right. Faith A. Bondi. Yeah, this part is kind of tedious to do, but it has to be done. Faith Bondi, did I make her a color? I think I did. Yes, I made her this one. All right, it's Faith Bondi. I'm going to, well, first of all, paste there, copy, paste, and replace all. Now Lucas Florzak, and then after him, we are just going to do the write-ins. Lucas Florzak, did I make him a color on here? I don't want to press show all because that's going to be annoying. I don't think I did make him a color, so I'll just give him the libertarian color scheme. Yeah, I'll just press show all. This might create a little bit of lag, by the way. Okay, it looks like that lag spike is over. That was really annoying. So, Lucas Florzak, I don't think he's a color on here. So I did kind of waste my time doing that, but that's fine. I might cut that out if I feel like editing this. But yeah, that's Lucas Florzak. Why is this? Oh, okay. I'm gonna paste this here, copy Lucas Florzak, and this should be 7 replacements. Yeah, okay, great. And then lastly, we have write-in. I usually just type write-ins, and then this, I usually make this color. All right, and then we can just Control H, paste there. Just gonna type write-in, replace all, 83 replacements. Great. Now that should all be replaced properly. I'm going to copy the description into the sandbox again, just to check that it's all updated correctly. And that's, one of the great things about Excel, that you can easily, change it like that. So yeah, everything here is all proper, except for potentially there will be precincts with no votes, which we will have to change later. But for now, I'm not going to check that. So I'm just going to copy, paste this as a value. And now we can delete all of these, the first and, all those stupid ones. I'm actually probably going to save this file now because I don't want this to get lost. So I'm going to save it as dist4 for district 4 interact. I'm going to open this. And yeah, now I'm just going to paste these 3, which, as I said, don't change, or at least I don't have them changing, and I don't think you should have them changing. But yeah, those are pasted. And by the way, these are fill opacity, stroke width, and stroke opacity. So just make sure you have those as your names. I'll explain, by the way, why we're creating all of these later on, but it's just important, especially for description and fill, to have these. So for fill, this is just going to be the hex color code for, what's it called? it's going to be the hex color code that each precinct is colored. And there's probably a way to automate this. The thing is, I only learned how to make these interactive maps yesterday. I assume that you could create like, a separate sheet which has like all the hex color codes, and you can do like some sort of VLOOKUP on them. But I haven't been doing that. I've been like populating them manually. So basically what I do is I create a max, which is just the percent over sum of this. And then I create a winner field, which I've done this formula before in previous videos, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not going to go over it. I'm just going to copy this so that I can paste it later. If sum equals 0, no votes. If max that equals large, that 2, tie index. We can lock that. Match, max, that, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, great. That's for the winner. And now PCT, I have to get that from my recycling bin, because that is the thing from the, I think I've also showed this in a previous video, the color underscore final. I'm going to color underscore final, restore, this one. Okay, and then I just copy one of these and I paste it there. And then now I'm going to copy this and paste down. And then what I usually do is I filter through all of these and just add the percentages manually. So I think I'll just start top to bottom. We'll start with Benjamin D. Welzer. Wait. Oh, yeah. I was confusing it with this Lucas Flores, that guy. I thought for some reason he had 1 vote. Benjamin Welzer. What color was he? Now that. Oh, yes, he was the alt color scheme. So that is alt 20 to 30, I believe, that I'm copying for him. So I'm going to paste this into here. Now I'm going to go into the next candidate, Faith A. Bondi. She only has the 30 to 40, and she is the alt rep. So I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to paste here. What are this? I'm just going to X out this other stuff just because it's kind of annoying to deal with right now. NHInt we don't really need anymore. I'm not going to save this. So that's good for Faith A. Bondi. Next we're going to do Rachel Storch, and that's a lot more. So now we have to filter out the PCTs. I'm going to start with 20 to 30. Now Rachel Storch was the Republican, so I'm going to start with 20 to 30 Republican, and I'm going to paste that. Next is 30 to 40 Republican, which seems to be a lot more. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste and then copy down. And it's easier when you're doing it color by color. I mean, it's still a lot of pasting, but it's less than by 1. So 40 to 50, Rachel Storch. Yeah, that's this one. Which I'm going to paste there. All right, yeah, that's good. So that's Rachel Storch done. Next, we're going to do the tie colors. Tie, there's only 20 to 30, so we can copy this from down here, and we can paste. All right. Next, we can do Vanessa Aronson. Start with 20 to 30. I believe she was the the writing color scheme. Yeah, Aronson is this one. Okay, 20 to 30. Copy that down for Aronson. Next, we can do 30 to 40. 30 to 40, we're going to copy this. Paste there. Copy down. And lastly, 40 to 50 for Vanessa Aronson anyways. 40 to 50. Paste. So that's all for Aronson. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Aronson is that one. Okay, great. So now we can check all these. And we can lastly go to Virginia Maloney, who I believe has the most that we have to do, yeah. So we have to do 20 to 30. Virginia Maloney, I believe, is the dem, yeah. So Virginia Maloney, 20 to 30. That's 20 to 30. Next is 30 to 40. Right. Then we have 40 to 50. Only one of those, it looks like. And lastly, we have over 90%. And that's this one. And I'll paste that there. And that should be everything, I believe. So now if we do control down, yeah, we'll see it's at the bottom. So that's good. We now have everything saved. I'm going to save this. I'm going to just copy all of these and paste these. And now we can delete everything except for the electist, obviously, which we're going to need to join. So yeah, file save. This is, yeah, all good. Okay, so now, basically the reason that we did all this is because we are going to be joining this. First of all, I'm going to delete those because we don't need it. We're going to be joining this to the shapefile in QGIS like I've done previously. Join Excel in safe mode now. Wow, why is, okay, I guess Excel launching for some reason. It's been doing that a lot recently for me. But basically we're going to just be joining this and creating the shapefile that we are going to export as a GeoJSON, which then we're able to upload to Wikipedia. And it's important that we name those columns those specific things because that's how it interprets it on Wikipedia. If you don't have those exact names, then there's going to be an issue. So we're going to add these in. First of all, you're going to want to project. Well, I don't know if you need this projection, but you definitely want exporting as GeoJSON. You need it to be done this way. This is for looking at the coordinates. You need it on WGS84, which is Authority ID EPSG 4326. So just make sure you have that. You'll see it's a weird shape, but you know that's how it usually is. So next, what we're gonna want to do is joins. This is just the usual thing, which I've done a million times. Now I'm gonna clip it to District 4. If you really don't know what I'm doing, you should really watch the video that I made on this before. So yeah, we're just going to clip that, which is all fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going into the attribute table, and I'm just going to delete the precincts that were like sometimes when you clip it, there'll be a little area from another precinct which isn't actually in the district. So you just have to check the null ones sometimes. Like you can see, okay, so first of all, this one is obviously in the district, so I'm going to do control click to deselect. And by the way, to select these, there's this thing up here, select features by area or single click. Let's see, that one is in the district. That one is in the district. And by the way, I know for a fact that there are no precinct splits for the city council race. Um, this one I'm going to delete because, I mean, yeah, it's technically in the district, but that's over the water. So, yeah. Now I'm going to press delete, and I'm going to delete those features, and I'm going to save. But now what I have to do, because we do have some null precincts which are actually in the district, these are no vote precincts, so what we're going to have to do is edit. And first of all, I'm just going to fill in these ones with the values that were the same as the rest of the row. So 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, enter 1, enter 1, enter 1, enter. Okay, and now for the fill color, I'm going to do the typical, oh, where's the, here it is, the typical no votes color for QGIS, which is this. So I'm going to paste, enter, oh, paste, enter, and paste, enter. And now we have to do the description. So for that, first of all, I'm going to copy this and just paste this in a new tab just so that I can have one of these color templates available. And now I'm just going to change Rachel Storch, just to say no votes, and I'm also getting rid of the colon. And then this is just going to be that. And I'm going to get rid of one of the hashtags. And I'll put this in the sandbox just to view it. It should be, you know, fine and everything, but It's always nice to check. Yep, no votes, just as we wanted. Um, so I will paste these into the null ones now. And that is all good. And I'm going to do save. Now, before we export, first of all, you'll see knowingly QGIS will create these field titles in front of it, dist4 int sheet 1 fill opacity. We only want the fill opacity, and we also don't need this like shape length or shape area, or really the electist. I'm going to keep the electist in just because that's a nice thing for people to view inside of it. But what we're going to do to change these fields is go to properties, then go to this fields tab on the right, press edit again. I'm going to select shape length and then control click shape area. And I'm going to delete these field columns. And now I'm just going to edit these all. I double clicked on that, by the way. And then, just editing to create the actual name that we want. Sheet 1 stroke. All right, just that and that. And then we can save, apply, I guess. I don't really think that does anything. Now if we go into the attribute table, we'll see we have everything properly. Fill, stroke opacity, stroke width, stroke opacity description, and electist. So now we can export this. I'm going to right click, go to export, save features as. Make sure your format is selected as GeoJSON. I'm going to pick a location now. I'll save it to downloads, and I'll just save it as dist4. And then CRS, importantly, make sure this is the EPSG4326. And I'm not going to add save file to map, so that's all good. And now if we go to downloads, we have our GeoJSON. But this is not sufficient. Well, first of all, let me show you guys what an example looks like on the actual map page. I'm just going to go to my profile. I need to go to my Wikipedia Commons page to show you where the actual link is. So I'm just gonna go here and then scroll to the bottom. Alright, hopefully this is gonna load. And then I'm just gonna click on one of these. Okay, so this is what one of them will look like when you upload it. And the source code is basically going to be, well, first of all, the way you create a new page is basically you just type in the page name that you want. So my page name that I want is going to be, where is it? I'm going to be doing the first round. So I'm just going to copy it from up here. I'm going to make it the same as what I made the SVG. I'm going to paste that and then press enter. Hopefully this loads. Yeah, and when we come here, there's this button that says create. So I'm going to click on that. And then here, I'm just going to delete all this. And I'm going to go into edit here. And we can see basically when we paste in our GeoJSON, there's going to be some things we have to change. First of all, if you want to view the GeoJSON source code, right click, edit with Notepad or Notepad++. It's better to edit with Notepad++ because Notepad just displays it all expanded. So basically what we have to do is, first of all, you have to get rid of this type name and CRS thing. So I'm going to delete that. And what we have to paste in, I might link my SVG in the comments so that you guys can copy this, but we need this license. The zoom, latitude, and longitude you don't need, but you should definitely include it. And you're going to have this data thing. So I'm just going to copy all of this. But yeah, you're going to need license and data. If you don't want to use the license I have, when you just type in that license string and delete the license or change it to like some random characters, it'll tell you licenses required and it'll list out all of them for you. So if you don't want the license I'm using, just do that. But yeah, we're going to now copy this and paste it up here. And we're also going to have to add a closing bracket at the end just to close off the data parameter that we added. So now this is all good. We could theoretically put this in, but really we want to change the latitude and longitude and also sometimes the zoom. I'm assuming the zoom is probably correct though, so I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into QGIS. I'm going to zoom to my map and I'm going to try to find a point which is like in the middle. that area is probably good. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but right now my screen is like going dark and I'm selecting on the outside. That's just how I'm avoiding, because if you move your mouse off the screen, obviously the coordinate's going to change. You could probably do Alt Tab to like avoid that, and then just bring it up at the bottom and drag your mouse in. But this is just how I get the coordinates without it changing. So I'm going to copy that. That's the latitude coordinate, and I'm going to paste that where the latitude is. And now I'm going to get the longitude coordinates, which is this, and I'm going to paste that here. And now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to make sure I paste it in the right one because I have pasted in the wrong one before. And now I'm going to press publish. Parameter data must be a valid GeoJSON object. Data must be a valid GeoJSON object. I have not seen this error before. If properties contain title or description, valid GeoJSON object. Okay, well, if properties contains title or description, data, Control F, data. Or if I enter data besides GeoJSON objects. Have I entered something wrong? What did I do? Data, type, feature collection, features. If properties fields contains title or description. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna delete all of this and I'm gonna X this out and hopefully it fixes when I reopen it. I don't know what issue I did, but maybe it's because I was talking and I just wasn't paying attention. Edit with Notepad++. This has to be replaced with this type feature collection. Okay. I'm assuming I just made some error while I was talking, some minor error, and I'm just not bothered to figure out what it was right now. Hopefully this isn't like a complete mess. I know I didn't change the coordinate stuff. I'll do that later. Data must be a valid GeoJSON object. What? Property fields contains title or description. Okay, let me check the attribute table of this, see what I did wrong. Now is probably not the time to be bug testing, but fill opacity null, stroke with null. I'm assuming that's the problem. Where's that null? I think that's the problem. Did I make a null thing somewhere? I did. I forgot a precinct. I think that's the problem. Is this? Yeah, that is in the district. So I think that's what it was. I just forgot to put this in, so I'm just going to edit 0.75, 0.5, 1. Where is the? Yeah, that's the no votes. Paste, and then we can copy the no votes and paste. And now I'll just save this. Hopefully that was what the error was, but I'm not sure. Let's see, CRS that. I'm just gonna save over this. Okay, overwrite. Now we can edit with Notepad++. Do you want to reload it and lose the changes? Yes, I do. Is there any null now? No. Good. Okay. So now I'm just going to do what I did before. Hopefully this isn't a pain to do. Backspace. This. Paste. I really hope I didn't create some horrible error that's unresolvable. Paste. Publish. Please work. Okay, great, it worked. And I didn't center properly, but yeah, you can see now, as you click on it, it'll show you, everything, and it's sorted properly. So that one, Faith Bondi one, this is the Walter, I think, yeah. So you'll see it's all sorted and everything. I'm gonna change the properties now. Zoom, I might have to do 14. just because, oh wait, no, I think the lower the number, the more zoomed out it is. I keep forgetting. But I'm gonna do the latitude and longitude thing again, just to show you that it works. So I'm gonna say that's my coordinate, and I'm going to do this value as latitude, right? Yeah, that's District 4. And okay, so it changed when I hovered over it. Now that'll be our longitude. All right, hopefully I didn't royally screw this up and this works. Publish. I think that's too zoomed out. Hopefully 13 works and is not too zoomed in. Publish. Great, that looks perfect. So yeah, that's how you do this. Before you leave, some caveats that you should, well, that I should note, I mean. Um, this is a pretty small map. For larger maps, it might be more difficult to do, especially because there's a kilobyte limit. You'll see sometimes when you try to upload a shapefile, it'll say this file needs to be under 2 kilobytes or whatever. If you do it with this method, it actually needs to be much less than that, because you'll see sometimes when you try to upload files, that the size will be under 2 kilobytes, but I'll say like this is like 10 kilobytes or something like that when it's not. Really, you need it like around 300 kilobytes from what I've tested, anyways. And there are two great ways to reduce that. First of all, there is this GeoJSON compressor. This is the first method that you should definitely use. Basically, what you would do is you choose a file. I guess I'll choose this. And then decimal place coordinates. You're probably going to want to do 4, and then you can also include properties. Make sure that you include, obviously, description, fill, opacity, stroke width, stroke opacity, and fill. Elect this isn't important. You can press reduce size, and you'll see this reduces it by 40%. That's often not going to be enough for larger files. So what you can also do then is you can go to Mapshaper, and this should be what you use second because this is more destructive, but it's also better at reducing file size. So once you import it into here, as I just did, you're going to press simplify, and you're going to want to tick prevent shape removal, and then the effective area model, and then press apply, and then you can drag this thing up here, and you'll see it'll slowly alter the geometries. You don't want to drag it too much because you can see, like, at this point, I mean, it's obviously too distorted. But you know, like here, it's not really that distorted. And if you then export this as a GeoJSON, I mean, here, let's see what that size is. Yeah, that's like pretty reduced. I mean, for larger files where there's like much more shapes, this one there isn't that much it can reduce on, but for larger files, it'll reduce it by a lot because it'll be deleting a lot of points for very detailed files. So yeah, those are the main things now for this. Oh, also adding it to Wikipedia. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go here. I'll go into edit source. I'm actually going to just copy it from interactive map version. So yeah, you can see there's this map link thing which you can use to add it, and then here you're just going to put in your map. So I'm going to go to, where's District 4? Here's District 4. And I did it for the first district. So results by precincts. And this is going to be District 4, Round 1, and then I'm just going to publish this, and yeah, the text is just what will display over it. So I'm going to press Publish. Hopefully this loads pretty quickly, and now we can go down to District 4. Just scroll down on this, actually. And yeah, now we have this interactive map version, and when we click on it, it'll give us the first district, and it gives us everything sorted, all nice and neat, just how we just how we did it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this, and yeah, thanks for watching.